Xavier Worthy was recently seen getting bullied at the line of scrimmage during a play at training camp, and many around the league were quick to point and laugh, saying this is exactly why Worthy won't succeed at the NFL level due to him being only 170 pounds. In spite of that, though, he keeps making plays, including another deep catch for a touchdown today. And in this video, I'll explain why everyone will soon have to eat their words about Worthy due to the way the Chiefs run their offense, look at an updated injury report, a new tight end joining the roster, and more. But first, how about those? Alright, first up, the only two players absent from today's practice were wide receiver Justin Watson, as he's recovering from that foot injury sustained last week, and defensive end BJ Thompson, who is still currently on the non-football injury list as he gets further tested after that health scare from back in June. Then the players who are still on the PUP list were seen out there, but not participating were as follows: safety Justin Reed, quad, defensive tackle Derek Nottie, triceps, and defensive end Charles Omenihu, ACL. Omenihu was seen in just a leg sleeve and no brace on his knee on the sideline at practice, though that could of course be something worn when he's working out. Now, someone who came off the PUP list yesterday was cornerback Jalen Watson, who got some more work in today but isn't yet a full go, and that's the same for offensive guard Joe Thuney. He came off the PUP list earlier this week but is still being ramped up, and with Thuney not yet a full go, the first team offensive line featured Mike Caliendo at the left guard spot, and then rookie Kingsley Suamataia was once again, for the 5th time out of 5 padded practices, the starting left tackle. Charles Goldman of A to Z Sports noted that even in warm-ups, Kingsley just looks different out there compared to the other big guys. Quote, he's quite the athlete. And yeah, this 324-pound monster could be seen flying down the field yesterday as the lead blocker for this Xavier Worthy end around up the left sideline, and I really did enjoy seeing that. Then as far as players who didn't practice today, 3 of them left practice early yesterday. They were out there today, but without pads or a helmet on. And these were the 3: linebacker Nick Bolton, elbow, wide receiver Kadarius Toney, ankle, and tight end Isaiah Gathings, hamstring. From what I could tell, Toney didn't appear to have anything on his ankle like a wrap or a brace, nothing like that. Meanwhile, Bolton did have a sleeve on his injured left elbow. And as a reminder, Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated was told by a source yesterday, late afternoon yesterday, that Nick Bolton's elbow is not expected to be serious, with Matt saying, quote, I'm told he is expected to be fine. Then the other 2 players of the 5 who left practice early yesterday, offensive tackle Jason Shue-Godric, ankle, and offensive lineman McCade Metier, also an ankle, were seen back out and working today. Godric appeared to have his ankle wrapped up, and then McCade was seen working in some at center with the 2nd or the 3rd team offense. Now, the only new player who was not practicing today, that practiced yesterday, he didn't leave early or anything like that, so it was a bit more of a surprise, that was safety Deon Bush. He is also dealing with an ankle injury. So, lots of ankles going around, almost like the common cold at camp so far. And to recap, Justin Watson was absent, BJ Thompson was as well, still being on the NFI list. Justin Reed, Derek Nottie, and Charles Omenihu are still on the PUP, but we're out there watching. Then Nick Bolton, Kadarius Toney, Isaiah Gathings, and Deon Bush were there, but did not participate. And with Nick Bolton out, linebacker Jack Cochran was the guy getting some work in at the Mike linebacker spot with the first team defense. That's something Jack did have to do last season when both Bolton and Tranquil were out during a game. So these are some good reps for Jack for an in case of emergency situation, and probably also shows why Jack Cochran is most likely making the 53-man roster as that linebacker 4 or 5. Another battle to keep eyes on is that cornerback 2 spot that is still basically wide open. That could be taken by Jalen Watson once he's back in the swing of things after coming off the PUP, but right now Kelvin Joseph has been making a great case for himself so far. He and Trent McDuffie were the outside corners with the first team today, with Chamari Connor on the inside, and Connor had a nice pass breakup today on this play here when Mahomes tried to fire one into Worthy, but Connor batted it away. A great read by him on that one. And on the subject of the secondary, Joshua Williams is once again back with the second team defense, appearing to have sort of been demoted late last week from the first team defense. He could be seen in coverage here on Justin Ross, not reacting quite quickly enough as Ross turned to go up and get the ball down the left sideline. Ross made a great play there, and Pete Sweeney of Arrowhead Pride noted that this was Ross's best day of practice with both Kadarius Toney and Justin Watson out. Ross was taking advantage of his opportunities out there, catching 3 receptions, 2 of those from Mahomes. And it looks like Kelce saw the most reps from Mahomes in the team's portion of practice with 7. More on Kelce and his catches here in a bit because he's just looking absolutely fantastic out there. Then Brown and Rice both had 6 receptions, and Xavier Worthy was next on this list with 3. Offensive coordinator Matt Nagy said there's a lot of speed out there on offense, and putting all 3 of Rice, Hollywood, and Worthy together is still a learning experience. Worthy has been out quite a bit still, and they are moving them all around, but they are all great at tracking the football and making plays. He just wants to see that trend continue. And if you guys didn't see this clip floating around yesterday or within the past couple of days that went very viral, it's a clip of Xavier Worthy getting tossed around pretty badly at the line of scrimmage, causing many to, I don't know, maybe overreact or jump to conclusions on this being the reason why Worthy will not be effective in the NFL because he's about 170 pounds. This is something they fail to consider, though. Andy Reid is literally an offensive genius at scheming people open. Nagy even mentioned that they will do their part in finding creative ways for guys like Worthy to get free releases. So yes, it's going to be critical. It's going to be on the coaches to find the balance of being creative, but it's also going to be on Worthy to work at winning at the line of scrimmage. Worthy has grown every day, said Nagy, and it's not all going to click for him within 2 weeks of camp. Patience is the key for him here. Now, here's one example of how they will be getting Worthy open this season. This play here had several pass catchers bunched up on the right side. I believe it was Skyy, Kelce, and Worthy. And Worthy was free off the line because you can't press them all, faking like he was going outside, then juking safety Brian Cook as he flew across the field, and Mahomes found him on yet another deep ball for a touchdown. And once Worthy gets in the open field like that, you're not going to catch him. 4'2", 140, not going to happen. So I wouldn't worry much about Worthy's weight and him getting jammed up too much at the line of scrimmage. Andy Reid is used to these smaller-bodied, quick receivers, and he will get them open this season. I have no doubt about it. Now, speaking of Brian Cook, he spoke with the media today and said there's a lot of speed out there, a ton of speed out there on offense that they are going up against. And when you combine that with the fact that it's Patrick Mahomes throwing them the pill, it makes every day a competition, and they really look forward to that. B. Cook also shared some details on the bad ankle injury he sustained Week 10 against the Packers. He broke his tibia bone in college and had to get it repaired, and actually did damage to the same leg on that play against the Packers. Cook said he ruptured the tightrope that was already in there and teared a ligament that needed repaired as well. So got the ligament repaired, added another tightrope in there as well as a metal anchor. So got some metal in there, but it's all good, and he's out there ready to go. He's flying all around, saying recovery is going well, and camp has been a good time for him to gear up and get ready for the regular season. And yes, he has definitely looked very healthy out there, and I'm excited for B. Cook in this next season. Another player looking very healthy out there is tight end Travis Kelce. He had this incredible 1v1 rep here against B. Cook as Kelce faked inside, causing Cook to bite, and immediately went outside for an easy catch up the field. He also got very open here on this one, finding an opening in the middle of the field per usual. Then here's a pretty fun rep from Kelce. Watch him close up. You'll see the circle on the left side of the screen and how fast his hands moved to knock Tranquil's away when Drew tried to press him at the line. And from that moment on, Tranquil was in hot pursuit but couldn't keep up, helped in part by McColl being used to get in the way a bit there on a shallow crosser from the other side. Then on this play here, Mahomes moved up and scrambled right in the pocket to avoid outside pressure and sidearm slinged it in typical Mahomes-like fashion for a back shoulder catch that Kelce adjusted perfectly to. How do you stop these guys? I don't know, don't care because they're on my team. Safety Jaden Hicks had decent coverage there as well, but Kelce is just too good. He's moving much quicker right now than he basically looked all last season. That got me further realizing that Kelce's injuries must have been worse than we thought out there during 2023. From the hyperextended knee to the ankle sprain he got weeks later, he appeared to have lost a step out there on the field, with some blaming his age, among other reasons. But of course, he then rested Week 18 and went on an absolute terror in the playoffs, catching 32 passes for 355 yards and 3 touchdowns in 4 playoff games. Some could argue that was just extra adrenaline coursing through Kelce's veins in the postseason. I would say that played a little role, but a lot of him was just simply getting healthy out there. The proof is how quickly he's now moving at training camp, looking similar to his play in the postseason during that run to winning Super Bowl 58. Another standout player today was wide receiver Montrell Washington, who Charles Goldman noted stood out as early as the install period, making a nice grab near the sideline, keeping his balance as he stayed in bounds. This man has made catch after catch after catch so far during camp and is doing all he can to make a legitimate push for the 53-man roster. it's going to be a tough one to crack, and my hope is, at the very least, Montrell Washington somehow is able to be hidden and remains on the practice squad after clearing waivers. Next up, in some more practice highlights, Mahomes connected quickly with Hollywood for a quick pickup here, which was nothing too crazy, but it's positive yards. This play, though, was definitely a bit crazier as Hollywood turned inside with Jaden Hicks in coverage and actually stopped on his route, but it looked like Mahomes thought he was going to keep going. Didn't matter, though, because Hollywood made the leaping grab to securely complete the catch. These are the little things here. Small but key improvements this year compared to last when you have a receiver who can catch the ball after the wide receiver room last year led the league in drops. And speaking of drops, Skyy did not drop this one, having a nice 1v1 rep here against Kelvin Joseph as he cut back for the ball and made the leaping grab to secure it. Rashee Rice reportedly had some drops in today's practice as well, but not on this rep as Mahomes fired a missile to him here in the middle of the field with McDuffie close in coverage. Rice got that burst in him though and turned upfield the yak machine himself. Another solid connect between QB1 of the entire NFL and might perceived to be wide receiver 2 of the Chiefs after Hollywood Brown, as long as Rice is not suspended this year. Then, tight end Jared Wiley is a guy that was heavily involved in today's practice, getting reps in with the 1s, 2s, and 3s. The more reps for the rookie, the merrier, in my opinion. Here's a nice snag by him up the right sideline, getting open thanks in part to Jaron Hayek and hauling in a nicely lofted pass from Chris Oladokun. And before I get to more camp highlights, since we're talking tight ends, Aaron Wilson reported late this afternoon that the Chiefs signed tight end Jorquarius Spivey from Mississippi State to the roster following a successful workout today. And once they sign someone, they obviously have to release someone else to make room, and at this point in time, I have no idea who that is, but I will keep you updated about that. Just wanted to let you know that a tight end was indeed added to the roster. Jorquarius, nicknamed GQ, is 6'5", 238 pounds, and ran a 4.62 40. He's not a super athletic guy, at least from a relative athletic score standpoint, totaling up a 5.20 out of 10. His 40 time and 10-yard split were solid, though, and he spent time at Mississippi State and TCU, but was declared ineligible to play his senior year in an eligibility dispute. He never had more than 136 yards in a season, then went undrafted, but was invited to a few NFL teams' minicamps. However, he now lands with the Chiefs as a camp body for now, but we will see what becomes of him as time goes on. From here, let's talk quickly about the running back room. Deneric Prince could once again be the guy seen taking first-team reps immediately after Isaiah Pacheco. And for what it's worth, Matt Nagy in his presser today didn't make it seem like Prince had the RB2 spot locked or anything like that. They're just giving him opportunities right now to see how he handles it. Preseason is going to be the key for Prince, with one of the main factors they're going to watch out for is how well can he hold up in pass protection. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is still getting reps with the second team at running back, but I wouldn't read too much into that with Clyde. This is his 5th year in the Chiefs system. They know what they have in CEH, while they are still figuring out what exactly they have for year 2 in Deneric Prince. CEH did speak to the media today, though, and it's well worth the full listen. Check the link in the description down below for the whole thing, but he opened up about his struggle with PTSD, gave some advice to those dealing with the same, and even shared that on top of PTSD, he's been dealing with cyclic vomiting syndrome. And basically, he randomly has these episodes of severe vomiting that has no apparent cause that can last for hours on end and lead to dehydration, causing him to end up in the hospital. So yeah, on top of his struggles with PTSD, Clyde has been going through it health-wise, but has been staying as positive as he can, saying the Chiefs training staff have all been incredible to him. Now, a couple other running back notes are apparently Carson Steele's stock is rising a bit, with Steele being the back getting reps with the first-team offense after Pacheco and Deneric Prince. Louis Rees-Zammit is still working exclusively with the third-team offense, but Charles Goldman shared that his pad level is definitely getting better, and he's looking more natural out there. Then I've got to talk about this incredible play from Mahomes to Pacheco that ended up going 25-plus yards down the sideline for a very impressive completion. Pop sprinted out wide on a wheel route out of the backfield, gave a slight double move, but I'm not sure it mattered because, honestly, he seemed too fast for linebacker Leo Chanel to even keep up. Mahomes saw Pacheco win his route and lofted a perfect pass up to Pop, who bobbled the pass a bit, but got control inbounds and flew down the sideline for the would-be score. Though, to be fair, I think Connor would have stopped him with a hit if he really wanted to. Either way, seeing a rep like this from Pacheco gave me some reminiscent Jamal Charles type vibes on his dual threat ability as a very fast pass catching back. If Pacheco, who has slimmed down a bit and has been working this offseason with the wide receiver coach, can utilize that bit of extra speed in the pass game and make catches like that this year, that's going to make for another dangerous quote-unquote receiver you're going to have to worry about and keep eyes on. You'll have players with sub 4.40 speed like Mecole Hardman, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and Pacheco all out there moving, plus Kelce and Rice eating, feasting over the middle. So yeah, good freaking luck with all that, whoever the Chiefs play against this year. And with all that being said, what are your thoughts on the Chiefs offense and how they are looking at training camp so far? Also, how much better do you think they will be this season as a whole? As a reminder, the Chiefs offense finished the regular season 15th in points scored per game, definitely well below their usual average. So, do you think they will climb their way back up the ranks this year? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, which will be tomorrow after a lighter 10-10-10 practice, and Mahomes and Big Red, I believe, speak to the media. Let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?